Hi guys, I'm back. I'm gonna have to work out a few glitches while I learn how to use this thing called Live. I don't know how to play music at the same time as doing a video. Thanks for coming back. I'm gonna wait for everybody to come back before I start the story. Um, yeah, I don't know how to play music while I'm doing a live video. I just lost you all, so I'm gonna wait for a second till you can come back. But actually what I can do is, because since my live stream on my Facebook isn't really working, maybe I can play it on my computer and then you can hear it. So the song that I was referencing with my mom on her last night was by U2, and it's called The Saints Are Coming. So here we go. Saints are coming. Let's see if I can get it on here. So like these live videos, they often won't let you play other music that's like copyrighted. So I think you're allowed to play like a couple seconds, or otherwise they'll just mute it. Are coming. Coming U2. And I just wanted to play it for you guys because it's actually like a really cute song. Not cute, but like it's fun. And music really tells you a lot about a person because, oh, the Saints Are Coming. Here we go. Oh, it features Green Day. Maybe that's like a different version, but yeah, music really tells you a lot about people. So I don't know. That might take a little while. Oh, here it is. So this song comes on, and like I said, we're like in the hospital. It's a very depressing situation and place. And so I just have this music on to kind of create this space for us to separate ourselves from what's like going on outside the room. And the people that were working there, like, to be honest, they were amazing. They let us like rock out in that room, and I'm sure our music was pretty loud. They just let my mom do whatever she wanted. They knew that it was her last night, and I mean, it's a really sad situation, but if you can do anything, I think that they felt like really happy that they might be able to make her last night special. Okay, let's see if I can get this going. Here we go. This is the part she started rocking out to, and I'm gonna give you the visual of what she was doing. Hopefully you can hear it. It's like got that rolling ball. Technology, interesting. How to use it. Okay, so my mom hears this song and starts playing, and you know, she's like passed out, she's like sleeping, she's really sick, and this starts coming on, and she like sits up, and she's still got her eyes closed, and she starts going, and she's like air drumming at this moment, and I'm just sitting there on the bed because, like, you know, I didn't expect that. And I'm looking at this woman that, like, I think that I know pretty well, and like she still continues to surprise me. And I just look at her and I'm like, she is badass. She is like really like to the core rock and roll. Like, I imagine myself as like a little bit rock and roll, but she was like really rock and roll. She's like Janis Joplin energy, and she's just like rocking out, and I've never even seen somebody like air guitar like that, and she was just like so in it, and I'm just looking at her with like so much admiration and love. And like, so again, this was like another moment that I got to experience with her on her last night. And so like, so far, you know, we've created these moments, and we could have just sat in that room and we could have just been really just focusing on her death and focusing on what it's going to be like when she's gone. But we didn't. We just kept searching, or just, we kept being. We kept being ourselves. And we didn't let like the outside world take away who we were. Another little thing that I find useful right now is just reminding myself that. So the reason that my mom actually wanted to go get that money was because she wanted to pay off her drug debts. So in the area that my mom lived in, they would often do like loans. So like, she would have this drug dealer and she wouldn't have money at 1 week because they usually spend it right when they get it. So my mom had some word for me. A cuff. Oh, a cuff. Yeah, learned that. I learned some interesting drug terminology while I spent my time with my mom. So a cuff is like when somebody, I guess, gives you the drug and then you owe them. So my mom had a lot of decent debts, like not too much. I think like in total it was like under $700. Um, so anyways, I'm sitting up there in the room with her talking about like who these drug dealers are and like how much money she owes and who I'm gonna have to give this money to have that dealer paid off, because I don't know who these dealers are and I don't want to put myself in a position where I have to like be like in danger. So anyway, so we do that. And the other thing is that my mom had this dealer from when she first lived in that area. And so she had this like loyalty to that dealer. And so my mom knew that she was going to be gone the next day and she was really scared. So of course, you know, her go-to when she's dealing with something that's fearful is drugs. So she wanted to make sure that she had enough drugs for her time when she's leaving. So besides the debts, we were also organizing my mom's last drug deals. So I'm like texting her old time like drug dealer and telling them like that my mom needs the needles for the next day, but they have to be like prepared because she's not going to be able to like prepare them. So my mom was addicted to heroin. Somebody wants to come up and say hi. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Come on. So he got a new jacket. This is Meatloaf. This is a new hoodie that he got.
No.
We have a friend that's been gifting him presents. He's a lucky little guy. And me too, because it makes me really like smile a lot, because like, look how cool he looks. Well, it's kind of falling off, but it's got a hoodie. Okay. Now you've been up here, you said hi to everybody, and you're gonna have to go back down on the ground. Okay. So, hope you enjoyed that. Down. He loves being on my lap. Like, he always wants up. No. So anyway, so I'm doing my mom's drug deals on the phone, preparing that she's going to have these needles, like, delivered the next day. And the thing is that her old school drug dealer is not her new drug dealer, who's Vegas. And so she doesn't want Vegas to feel like she's, like, going underneath her to get drugs from somebody else, and she's being all like conscious about this. So she's kind of like leading it and I'm responsible for it. So we're supposed to like take, my mom isn't allowed to do the assisted passing in the hospital because it was Catholic, so we have to bring her back to the center that she was living in. Enough. And so we have like a transport vehicle that's picking us up in the morning, and then we're gonna have to like wheel her up this elevator to where she used to live, and she's gonna have it done in her room. So I'm supposed to get this like drug deal happening at that moment that's really crucial between like getting dropped off and like getting up into this house, and I'm not supposed to show anyone, and my mom's drug dealer is going to be there in Vegas, and like, so anyways, yeah, this is some of the fun stuff that I was dealing with. So just before that all goes down, I'm just going to fill you in on the transport vehicle because that was quite fun. So the guy comes up to the hospital and he's like putting my mom into this like transport wheelchair, and it's a little different than the wheelchairs that are normally like pushed around. It's like, I guess, one that goes in like ambulance or something like that, so it's got like straps and everything. And so he's like taking her down the elevator, and the cutest thing about my mom is that she just talks to everyone. She always spoke to everyone. It was like something that always embarrassed me because she looked a certain way, and like she would just talk to people, and I'd be there like this. But it was really beautiful at that moment because it just, when you're dealing with someone that's dying, like it makes you very, very conscious of everything around you. And she kept saying, nobody's nice, nobody's happy. Like she kept talking to people and nobody was responding. And I was like, yeah, Mom, but we're in a hospital, you know, like they're probably just dealing with other stuff. But in reality, like it makes me think, and it's like, how often do we not engage with each other? Like we are kind of all wrapped up in our own little worlds, and we are a little bit mean to each other. So I've definitely been thinking about that lately. So anyways, so the guy's pushing her down. We're about to get into the transport vehicle. And you know, this is really difficult for this guy. Like he knows that he's bringing my mom to like her death. It's not a pleasant experience. And so anyways, but my mom's like totally all for it. And you know, she's high on as many drugs as she could possibly get. But still coherent and still like with us. So anyways, he's like strapping her into this like vehicle thing, and she turns to him and she's like, "Are you trying to flirt with me?" And he just goes like bright red. He was so embarrassed, and I was just like laughing. I'm like, "Oh my god, mom, like you are crazy." So anyways, we drive, she's like, "Please go slow, this is my neighborhood." Like, we weren't far from where her house was, and it was like, you know, it was like the crack infested streets, and that was her neighborhood, and that's how she felt like comfortable. This was just like something I had to kind of come to understand, was there was a community there and she was accepted in it, and she wasn't judged. And so anyway, so we're driving really slow, and we're about to get to the point where I'm supposed to do this drug deal. So we get dropped off, and like I'm on the phone and I'm getting these text messages from her dealer, saying like, yeah, bringing it up and everything. My mom keeps asking me like, "Is it here? Is it here?" Like, she's freaking out. She really wants to make sure she's got her drugs, even though she doesn't need them. She just needed to know she would have them. So then the guy's not outside, but we go upstairs and like we're like situating everything, and there's a bunch of people and everything's going down, and like all of a sudden this like weird looking cracked out guy comes upstairs with a teddy bear, and he's like, "Somebody tells me that I think it's for my mom that he has this teddy bear," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I'm like, "Oh, so I guess like the drugs are with the teddy bears like wrapped up, and so I'm supposed to give him money." So then like, you know, this is like a pretty crazy time, and I give the money to this guy. He gives me the teddy bear with the drugs, and I'm kind of like hiding it, and then I have to like bring it to my mom, and she's been wearing this little like black bag forever, and she always keeps her money and her ID and her drugs in there. That's like her safe space. So it's called like a little black bag. I have a little story to go with that. So anyways, I guess I did a drug deal at the last moment of my mom's life. Good on her, because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. Like I wasn't really even thinking about it. Hopefully I don't get arrested for stating this. So anyways, here we are, skip to that part, which I'll probably kind of end this conversation about. So she's wearing this little black bag, and what's really beautiful is that her actual drug dealer, Vegas, really pulled through at the end. Like, she, from the moment that I met her, was just like on my team, on my side. Like, anything I needed, anything I needed help with, that she would be there. And so she asked me like, "Can I do anything for my mom's passing?" And I was like, "Well, my mom won't let me leave her side. I would really love it if we could get like a bottle of champagne." And my mom and I always had this joke that we would, not this joke, but this like ongoing thing, that we wanted to have like a toast together of champagne. I don't think my mom's ever had champagne. And so at this point, I've already flown up. I've already been there last 2 weeks ago, and like money is definitely like getting tight. So I'm like, "Please don't spend a lot of money, like just a cheap bottle of champagne." She's like, "No, let me take care of this." So I'm like, "Okay." And I was like, "And also if you could like pick up some lilies, because my mom loves lilies." And so we get in the room, and there's like the most gorgeous bouquet of like pink lilies. There's a whole Black Forest cake that like the staff workers had gotten, and a whole case of pink crushed soda. I don't even know why, because I've never even seen my mom drink it, but supposedly that was her wish for her dying day. And then we had like this $300 bottle of Veuve Clicquot like pink champagne on the counter, that Vegas, I guess her boss had gotten for my mom. So yeah, so it was quite the party. And so anyways, to go back to the little green bag, my mom wants to take some of her drugs, and I'm like, "Mom, you don't need them. Like, we're about to do the like insertion of the stuff that's gonna like take her life." And she's like scared, but I'm like, "You're also like super high right now. Like, you don't need anything else." And I go, "Why don't you just take it with you?" And she looks at me like, "Oh my God, I never thought of that. Like, that's the most genius thing." And she goes, "Do you think that they'll let me?" And I was like, "I don't know, like maybe ask them." So she she goes to the people in the room, like the person injecting the stuff into her, and she goes, "So I have some heroin, can I take it?" And the woman just goes, like looks at her, and I go, okay, I can understand that like she didn't comprehend what my mom was asking. She's not asking if she can inject herself with it right now. She means like, can I take it with me when I die? So I go and explain that to the room, and the woman goes, yeah, of course, like no questions asked. Like that was like so much of what I experienced down there was no judgment. Like, and that is just, it's something that's so misunderstood with addiction, is that I think a lot of people take drugs because they feel judged. And surprisingly, they find this like solace with each other of non-judgment. And it's people that are usually like really hurting inside. Anyways, it's an interesting place. But yeah, so I was constantly amazed by just how lack of judgment there was towards things. So anyways, so the woman's like, yeah, of course you can take it. So I'm trying to remember how it happened, but oh yeah, so Vegas I think knew that the needles were there, and she had put them into her little black bag, so they were all already there. And so my mom ended up passing with this little black bag, which one of the songs that was on the playlist was Little Green Bag, that's on the Reservoir Dogs. And so like my ongoing joke is that my mom died with her little black bag, like her little green bag. So I'm gonna see if I can actually play this one for like the second before they cut it off again. And so she got to leave with her best friend, and that was another song that was in our playlist, was Comfortably Numb and by Pink Floyd. And my mom stated so many times that drugs were her best friend, and I don't think it was the drug. It was something that was like that comforted her. It was something that it was like she knew that would kind of be there for her in some kind of weird way. It became her best friend, and you know, that's not for me to really understand fully. I just know that that's how she felt. And so she got her last dying wish, which was, you know, she